feet and in good faith, reflecting our deep respect for the judicial system. We are aware of the plaintiff's request for an extension, a motion we perceive as an attempt to protract these proceedings unnecessarily. Such delays can place an undue burden on all defendants, and we believe it is a tactic that serves to unfairly prolong the resolution of this case. We wish to make it clear that any form of character defamation through malicious slander will not be tolerated. We are steadfast in our efforts to expose fabrications and ensure those who engage in spreading such misinformation are held to account. Our resolve is to defend our good names and to expedite the legal process toward a just and timely conclusion. So,
give us a little background as to how did we end up here today?
Yeah, so today was our preliminary hearing in case management, and also Olivia Berger's motion to quash. The judge ruled in favor of Olivia's motion to quash. However, she was served shortly after. So in terms of the case management, the judge has ruled to extend the timeline for the plaintiff to reach all defendants and serve them properly.
And what happened today as far as your action? Was there any motions made on your behalf?
No, my motions were not addressed today, other than the case management. So it's just to prolong the case. He's trying to serve 50 plus women. So I have filed other motions, an anti-SLAPP. Some of my co-defendants have filed other motions. Those hearings are scheduled, and they will be in the months, days to come. So we're just waiting on those days.
And how do we get here to this day? What happened? What brought this lawsuit?
It's okay. I believe that the plaintiff brought forward this lawsuit because he found posts about him online that were not in his favor, as myself and my fellow co-defendants were just speaking their truth, and unfortunately for him it was again not favorable. So he somehow found those comments that we did make. Again, they were factual and they were based in our true experiences. He found those comments and decided to come forth with this lawsuit with his claims of defamation, which we feel are invalid because there is no evidence that we know of that would exist in support of his claims.
And how has this impacted you and your friends?
It's impacted us in quite a few ways. Obviously, we're here. We have to take time out of our own lives to deal with this. That includes missing work. That includes missing money. We're everyday women. We have jobs. We have lives outside of this. But it has impacted our lives quite a bit as far as our time and energy. And I think that's pretty apparent in how seriously we're taking this. And it's unfortunate that we do have to come to the media to get enough traction, but we are still without legal representation at this time. So that is something we felt was necessary in order to gain traction behind our story.
So right now you've been representing yourself?
Correct. We've been representing ourselves this entire time. We're hope that will change with this new media attention. So yeah, but as of right now, we are self-represented.
So did you guys all go out with this guy?
No. So many of the women, I would say the majority, had never even met the plaintiff in person. I was one of the few who did go on one date with him back in 2021. But it is very important to acknowledge that he is including women in this lawsuit that have simply made a passing comment of, oh wow, and not in any, let me go back. It's important to note that there are various women with varying levels of involvement in what was said on the post. Some just liked the post. So not all of us met him or went on a date with him.
When you made these posts, did you ever think it would lead to something like this?
Well, one would hope not, but given the plaintiff,
all the time on social media.
right? Yeah, I mean, it's true that you don't really assume that something like this would come out of a truthful comment that you make online, especially. But given the litigious nature and past of this particular plaintiff, I can't say I'm too surprised.
What were your reactions when you found out you guys were getting sued over what you said on a dating website over a guy you went out with and apparently didn't like?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What was your reaction when you found out you were getting sued by, did you go out with him?
No, so I matched with the plaintiff back in 2019. He initiated the match. He, right out of the gate, gave me his phone number and said, let's hang. I commented with one message saying bold move with a happy face, and then a barrage of harassing messages came afterward. So I immediately blocked and reported him, and a few years later I commented on that post on the Facebook group, and now I'm being sued. I shared my personal experience, truthful, and my opinions on, on his behavior, and now it's all this. So.
What was your reaction when you found out you were being sued by this guy?
Well, I just thought, well, this won't go anywhere. I just thought this is ridiculous. But it's very serious, and it's very unfortunate that we're here. But I'm happy to provide all the evidence and get through this. And hopefully, justice will prevail.
Is this a matter of freedom of speech?
It is. It really is. And it's not, we want to make it clear, it's not about men versus women. It really is about the truth versus fiction. And, what we said in our statements, this is a community on Facebook. It is a private group, but it's still on a public platform, we understand. But it is a place where women can share their experiences, their honest experiences, and keep each other safe. And so while we're doing that, we're exercising our right to free speech. And we feel that this is a bullying tactic to silence us.
Do you have any regrets on making these posts on Facebook?
I have none. I can only speak for myself. I encourage women to continue speaking the truth and continue sharing their stories and keeping each other safe.
One of the things that he says in his lawsuit that he accuses defendants of saying are that he was a suspect or is a suspect in a murder and that he has STDs. Did any of the ladies write those things?
None of the women standing here made any of those claims to my knowledge. I definitely didn't. All I can say on that is a quick Google search of this man's name is enough to see his litigious history and the cases he's been involved in, and that might have been the topic of conversation amongst the women who were looking to possibly involve themselves romantically with him, which is why it was important to discuss these matters, because they were alarming things that were found online. But none of us commented or claimed that we knew the status of any of those cases. I definitely didn't, and neither did my co-defendants.
Are you the only one that went out with him of this group?
Of this group, yes, I am the only one who has met him in person. Out of the whole total list of defendants, I don't believe I am. I also do want to kind of speak about so sorry, no, that wasn't.
So you're the only one that went on actually met this guy in person?
Correct. Correct.
And what did you say in your post? What happened on that day?
So the gist of our date was I quickly saw that he was the type of man who was going to be taking issue with we met at a boutique hotel, and this was in October of 2021 when the LA mask policy was still in effect for indoors. And so he quickly took issue with that. There was a sign on the door of the hotel that said, please wear masks indoors. So I go to reach for mine and he brushes it off, and that was kind of my first indication that we probably wouldn't be getting along. And after we sat down, everything kind of quickly unraveled from there. He started, in my opinion, ranting about his various their conspiracy theories, including things such as the CIA and their involvement with, COVID and the vaccine and all of that, it wasn't like a friendly back and forth conversation. It was more of him talking at me, which obviously made me uncomfortable. And he noted quite a few times during the date that I was uncomfortable, but yet continued to talk about the subject in which was making me uncomfortable. So it felt like he somewhat enjoyed making me feel uncomfortable with the ways and the things he was saying and speaking to me. I did tell him that I don't think we're going to be seeing eye to eye on these topics, so we should probably change the subject. And he then took to kind of, it seemed as if he was looking down on my work, claiming that he knew a lot of other hot young girls that, did the same job as me, which obviously I didn't appreciate. But just, he seemed very arrogant, smug, like sitting on a high horse. The typical kind of bad date behavior. It wasn't until after I got home with more information I knew at that point, where I went down the same Google rabbit hole that everybody else has probably done at this point, and then it kind of made a little bit more sense. And he also, I will say, he did try to get me to leave with him, to go back to his apartment or his place. To which I did not. I refused to leave with him, but he's claiming that that is a false statement on my behalf, which I can assure you is not.
Do any of you guys still post on this?
So that is something that we would like to emphasize, is that while, do you want to join in?
So back in January, there was a similar case of Are We Dating the Same Guy in Chicago. A plaintiff, male, was suing a handful of women for defamation as well. And the creator of the Are We Dating the Same Guy group, Paula Sanchez, was named in that case. To my knowledge, none of them were served, but she did create a GoFundMe that collected close to $40,000, at least one of her GoFundMe accounts. There may have been multiple. We reached out to her because in her GoFundMe statement, she stated that the funds would go to other legal cases relating to Are We Dating the Same Guy all over, basically in that network, for legal cases similar, and so that we didn't have to individually look for funds for representation. So we reached out to her to let her know about our legal case, to which, to a lot of us, she didn't respond. She actually, she did respond. She responded by restricting our accounts. I wasn't able to comment or post for about a month or so. And then when I finally was able to get back, she would throw us like breadcrumbs of help by, amending an old post that she did and putting our new GoFundMe. So not even asking for the funds that she had collected, but we created our own GoFundMe. Asked her to post that for us to gain traction. She amended an old post that basically got no views. We didn't see $1 raised. And we continued asking her, for help and support, to which she remained silent, at least to me and to Liv. And she ended up actually deleting us from the group.
So none of you you're all deleted from the group.
I'm deleted. Liv is deleted, I believe.
Multiple people are deleted at this point. Not all of us, but multiple, yes.
Anything you want to say to other people or other women on these dating apps?
I do feel strongly that although dating apps do provide a different sort of platform for people like the plaintiff, they are not the root issue of this. I just think the plaintiff is the root issue of this, and he has met women in person. He has met women, of course, on dating apps, but there were many comments claiming that they had met organically in person. So it's not purely a dating app issue, although we would like the dating apps to be held liable as far as policing who is allowed back on after their accounts have been suspended or reported, because it's frustrating that Vanessa had this interaction with him in 2019 and then he was then able years later to be back on the same platform. So that is something that we would like to see changed in the future.
What was the name of that dating app?
I connected with him on Tinder, and Vanessa connected with him on Hinge. I had reported him. So it's my suspicion that as soon as he connected with me, he either unmatched or blocked me from the app, and then he texted me separately after I had given him my number and told me that he wasn't on the app or something to that effect, and to just communicate with him through text. It's my opinion that he does that on purpose, so you are not able to then report him after a bad date with him. I did see him we've seen him under various iterations of his name, I suspect, because he's being continuously reported for, I suspect, bad behavior on these apps. So he's somehow apparently still allowed to be creating new accounts under various iterations of his name. And I did come across his profile after our date and reported it at that time. What came of that report, I have no idea.
Any other questions?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Talk about digging deeper and some of the things that are being.
Yeah, the quotes.
Yeah.
The quotes.
You know, some of the quotes. If we can get
Just
some
let
of
me
those.
add one thing.
Yeah.
So,
So just to summarize, the goal here is to bring awareness to this case, but we're also asking anybody that's an attorney that would like to support these women in this battle of freedom of speech. Please reach out to us. We're looking for some pro bono help, and if we are successful in the anti-SLAPP countersuits, the attorney helping can actually ask the judge in the court to issue attorney's fees. So there is a little bit of hope there. Thank you.
So we have direct quotes that we would like to
and
put on
we
record.
also have a GoFundMe we'd like to.
Yeah, fix it up.
Well, we already set up a GoFundMe. It's been paused. So.
Yeah, we have
So,
to.
we do have a GoFundMe account that was active, and it's since been paused. Apparently, it's been reported or flagged. We don't know by who, but it's been paused. But it's still, we're working through that and hoping to get it up and running again soon. So.
The title of the GoFundMe, just so people can search for it
Yeah,
later.
the title of the GoFundMe is Legal Defense Fund for Women of LA. If any support would be appreciated. We are hoping for pro bono work. In our experience and looking for representation, it doesn't seem likely, but any funds can help us get through this. We definitely appreciate it.
We do believe that his direct quotes are obviously a direct correlation to the kind of person he is. So we do urge that his words be looked into as he writes them, and not be ignored. It's frustrating that we've been trying to give this information in various ways for a long time, and his direct quotes are not even being reported. So he has referred to us as criminals quite a few times. In turn, he has, in my opinion, defamed us on public websites. And he's called us everything from losers to short, chubby, psychotic women. These are, again, direct quotes, which I think are important to note.
Thank you
Okay.
guys. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys so much.
Thank you.